I'm Diana DeRosa, and I'm speaking with Chelsea Canedy, who lives in Maine and will be in the Mustang Classic with her Mustang Una. And this is the English version of the Mustang Challenge. So, Chelsea, first of all, why did you decide to enter your first Mustang competition?
Well, I'll blame it on my good friend Tick Maynard. He is the person that just won Road to the Horse this year. He's been a good friend of mine for many years now, and we were talking about his being accepted or asked to do the Road to the Horse competition, and he said, "Well, if I wasn't doing that, I would do this." And he sent me the email about the classic, and I had never heard of it before. It's its first year, with the English version of things. And I had never really thought about doing a Mustang competition of any sort, but this one interested me because it brings together all the things that I already do. So it's basically an eventing competition in small format. So they have to do dressage, show jumping, arena cross country. And then there's this really cool added component of being able to do a Liberty freestyle. And so that's like, those are all the worlds I kind of have my fingers in. And so when I saw the information about it, I thought, wow, this could be a really cool opportunity. And I was very surprised by the prize money that they're offering for this competition. And I thought, why not throw my hat in the ring and just see what I can do.
Well, fabulous. I mean, I've seen pictures of your horse now, so it's amazing.
It's come a long way.
What was Luna like when you first saw her?
Well, it was an interesting situation to actually even get a Mustang because I live really far east and most of the Mustangs are very much west. And so for me to actually get my hands on a Mustang was quite a process. Um, I really had a hard time because they're all really far west. And at the time I was looking, there was a change in the partnership between the Bureau of Land Management and the Mustang Heritage Foundation, and that made it even harder to source Mustangs anywhere close to me. So I ended up turning to some Facebook groups and finding a wonderful woman who had been doing the tip trainer program for the Heritage Foundation for a long, long time. And she lives really close to the furthest east holding pen for Mustangs. And so she and I started talking on Facebook and then by phone. And basically she was my source. She went and looked at the pens in Ewing and sent me videos, and we talked while she was there, and she sent me she knew my criteria, kind of what I was looking for, and she kind of sent me the things that she thought were close to that. Her name is Meg, and she is wonderful. She actually we found Luna together. She's small. They're all small, and I was looking for something a little taller because I'm quite tall. But she was bigger than some and a little more athletic looking than some. Some of them are very like rotund and pony-like. And Luna, while she is actually technically a pony, she has a little bit of a thinner build, finer bone, finer body. We really liked her eye. She was watching Meg a lot as she moved around the outside of the pen. She was kind of tracking her and following her. And we really liked her face and her expression. And when you do this, it's a roll of the dice. Like you don't know what you're gonna get, you hope for the best. So we picked Luna. I have a thing for gray horses too, so that worked out. And Meg picked her up for me and had her at her house for a couple of weeks until I was able to get to Kentucky, where I was doing something for the International Liberty Association, and I was able to pick her up there. So it was actually a really big process to even get a Mustang in the first place. And when I got her, she was, completely feral. She'd never been touched by a human. Luckily, Meg had been doing this for a long time. And so she did some very, very basic things with Luna before I even got her. She was able to get a halter on her and able to send her down a chute quietly into a trailer, which was great because I needed to be able to trailer her all the way back to Maine. So, and then when I started working with her, she was extremely, extremely cautious and standoffish. And I would never say aggressive. Some of them can be, I've heard, a bit dominant and aggressive. And Luna's way was more to just get afraid and run away. but it took a long time to really get her to trust that especially my touch was okay. She was okay being touched with like objects, like sticks and strings and pool noodles and tarps, and like she didn't care about any of that. But a human touch was just the most frightening thing for her. And it took a while to get to that place. Yeah, she amazed me because she lived so purely close to her natural instincts in a way that domestic horses just don't. And so it was a real education for me in the way horses are in this world if we're not involved. It was amazing,
All
actually.
right, so talk about some of the other steps that you've actually had to do and what you're thinking about doing, because you've got still a couple of months before the event
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
So talk about those steps.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I took it really slow in the beginning. I think I've never started a horse from total scratch like this. This was my first time doing that. Like I've backed a lot of horses that have already been, worked with pretty extensively on the ground, but I've never started one completely from scratch. So I took my time in the beginning and I really incorporated a lot of positive reinforcement work, a lot of liberty work to gain her trust. And I'm really glad I did. It was worth that time. And then really nothing was very hard or exciting until I got to the riding. And there were some steps I didn't know that I should be taking for sure. And Luna got pretty scared one particular time, and I took a good tumble, and I was like, I think I need some help here. And so I called in my friend Tick, who was at the time prepping for Road to the Horse. So he needed to be starting horses. And so it worked out great that he had been learning some of the things that I didn't know I needed to know in terms of the steps I should take. So I really did a lot of learning from him in that process and then practicing the things that he suggested. And then Luna and I, like once she got over that little hump of being afraid of something above her and on top of her, then it was like she was just a green pony. And then I knew what I was doing because I've done a lot of green horses. And so once we got over that hump, I'd say in January, I was able to kind of quickly progress into being able to walk and trot and canter in more and more open spaces and incorporate little trot rails and eventually jumps. And now Luna is, I mean, she's an amazing pony. I just have so much fun with her. Like I take her to horse shows now. We do dressage tests. They're not perfect by any means, but she's never naughty. She's never scared. She's so brave and she will jump anything I put in front of her. Doesn't care about water or ditches or banks or, fill under the jumps. She's just really so cool. I have like she is a welcome part of my everyday because she's just so easy, honestly.
Fabulous. I'm so glad
Yeah.
to hear all that. And I want to
Yeah.
thank you, Chelsea, for chatting with
Yeah.
me. Do you have any last
Absolutely.
words you'd like to say?
I'm just really excited for the challenge. Now we just have to put the polish on, we want to make it look really good. Now I know we could get it done, but I want to make it look really good.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching you at the challenge, this great event, the Mustang Classic. So thanks again. And I am Diana DeRosa reporting for the Equus Television Network.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.